Welcome everybody to another week of Sun Bookshop Reviews on YouTube. Today I'm going to review a picture storybook. This one is Just in Case You Want to Fly by Julie Fogliano and Christian Robinson. Julie is a favourite at the Younger Sun, and her book, If You Want to See a Whale, becomes highly recommended. This is just a beautiful story that you might want to pick up for story time. It's incredibly gentle, poetic book just about children and things that they see in their life. For example, the first line just says, just in case you want to fly, here's some wind and here's the sky. And it just goes through all the little parts of life that are really beautiful, full of imagination and just really gentle and reassuring and everything we need right now. So that's what I've been reading. Serena?
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about The Yield by Tara June Winch. Now this book has won many awards, including the Miles Franklin this year in 2020, not that we would forget that year, and also the People's Choice and Book of the Year at the New South Wales Premier's Literary Awards. And this is a novel that is told in 3 distinct voices, and it spans centuries, places and time. So there are 3 main protagonists. Albert Gondawindi, who is raised in an Aboriginal boys' home. He's now an elderly man and he's writing a kind of secret dictionary, if you will, of words from his own native language. And it's to honour and respect and reclaim his language, about storytelling and identity. And the second narrator is August, who is his granddaughter. And she's been away for 10 years in England. And she comes home because her grandfather Albert is dying. And when she arrives back in the small town, she's confronted by her past and the reasons why she left in the first place. And then the third narrator is Reverend Greenleaf, who is a missionary who's come to Australia to tame the savages or convert the savages. And his story is told in a series of letters that he writes back to England. These 3 stories are really powerfully told. They're very separate, but somehow the author has managed to braid all of the stories together, and it explores colonialism, environmentalism, trauma, intergenerational violence, but the beauty of this book is it's a celebration of words and how important language is to people, to families, to culture, and the way that we use words and how powerful that they are. It's beautifully written. There are some exquisite passages and very memorable scenes. It's very thought-provoking. I think it's a great book for book clubs. There is so much to talk about in this book. There's so many big themes and issues, and it's a book that will stay with you for a really long time.
My book this week is Megha Majumdar's A Burning, which I just finished last night. And interestingly, Serena, it's also told in 3 different narrative voices. This is a debut by Megha Majumdar, and it's such a confident debut. Her voice is so good. And it's set in India, in Calcutta, and it starts off with a terrorist attack on the train station. And people have set fire to the carriages, and it's really awful. And the first character you meet is Jivan, this young teenager who makes a Facebook. She's chatting to somebody and she says something really critical of the government. And then the next character is a woman called Lovely, who's a hijra, which is a cultural thing in India, someone who's born with male genitals but identifies as a woman, and they have a really important part culturally. They do a lot of blessings at weddings and births and at deaths. And you meet her in an acting class and she's just performing this electrifying scene where she's playing like a scorned wife and everyone's crying and they love her. And the next character is called P.T. Sir, and he works at the school that Jivan attended, and he is just a PE teacher, like a personal, he trains the kids in running and stuff. And each character sort of expands out of this point, which is the terrorist attack. Jivan is arrested because she was chatting to someone who was a known terrorist on Facebook who she didn't know. Jivan was teaching Lovely how to read English. And the personal trainer, the PT Sir character, he just inadvertently ends up heavily involved in an up-and-coming political party. He adjusts the microphone at a rally, and then from that point on, he is embedded in the party. And each character's voice is incredibly distinct, and it's one of those books, and I'm sure I know the Yield is like this. When it shifts from narrative voice, you don't miss the other character. You're kind of carried along. And it's kind of touted as a thriller, and it really is, but it's also a really beautiful, insightful, and like actually quite angry exploration of Indian culture in a way that I haven't read before. And it's really gripping. It's again another read that we can just put into the isolation pile. You go, oh my goodness, it's so nice just to read a book that I kind of can't put down. So I really loved it. And that is this week's Sun Bookshop Recommends. We hope everyone's enjoying spring. The sun's out, things are looking good, and we hope you're all taking care. Bye, everybody.